Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and welcome to the Master League. After 2 long weeks, the Ultra League has finally left us, so today, I'm going to be trying something out that I've wanted to try out for a while, and that is Wild Charge ZACIAN. Now, typically, PvPoke recommends to run Close Combat and Play Rough, but since I'm running it as my closer, I do want to have the extra closing potential of Wild Charge over Play Rough. And I decided to run it with a Dialga on the lead and a Dragon-Tail Groudon on the safe swap, and went positive in every set that I tried it in. So without further ado, let's hop into the matchups and let's take a look at Double Nuke ZACIAN in action. Alright, hopping into the first match and picking up a pretty neutral lead Dialga into Mammoswine. Now, Dialga is incredibly powerful in the Master League, of course, so we can just throw an Iron Head, shield twice, and farm all the way down, which is crazy. So we are going to be committing the shield here. They go for the Bulldoze, so great shield by us. They can't get to a third move, so we'll see them Bulldoze again, but we can pretty safely shield. And then we are going to be able to farm all the way down. My opponent wants to save the Mammoswine for a potential sack swap in the endgame. They bring in Giratina Origin, we go for the Draco Meteor, and we're able to force the shield. And now we're going to build back up. These Dragon Breaths are still chunking even after we're debuffed, and they go for the Shadow Ball to take us out. And here is why you run Dragon Tail on your Groudon. Groudon normally doesn't have the most fantastic matchup against Giratina Origin, but here we can just farm all the way down, and now we're one off, and we'll see what they have in the back. They're waiting out their clock here. It's Mewtwo. We go for the Earthquake, but they catch. Amazing play by my opponent, and suddenly my opponent has life. They bring in the Mewtwo. We try and get off a Fire Punch. They throw right before we do. Very nice play. But here's the thing that I'm counting on my opponent not realizing. Is I have Wild Charge, which I get to faster than I get to Play Rough. We're able to get to the Wild Charge, and that is going to be taking care of the Mewtwo, and ZACIAN closing strong in game number 1. Alright, hopping into the next match. We have Dialga into Mewtwo. This is a pretty neutral lead, but it's a very stressful lead if you're the Dialga, because it's always a bait game. Will they throw the Focus Blast? We're able to get the shield with the Iron Head, and now we have a tough call to make. Here, I'm thinking they bait, and they actually go for the nuke, but they have Ice Beam. And this is totally fine with us, because we can survive an Ice Beam. Ice Beam does not one-shot. We'll shield with the Psy Strike and attempt to farm down here. Come on, Dialga. Oh, and I miscalculate. Again, these are some of the first battles of Master League, so there are definitely going to be mistakes in this gameplay. Definite misplay by me. I build up to the Draco Meteor, but I bait. I don't want them to snarl down, so we're able to bait, and now the threat of a second Draco Meteor forces them to empty their energy. And they actually don't overfarm whatsoever, which is really nice, because they're still 4 off a move, so I can bring in ZACIAN here, go straight for the Wild Charge, and before they even throw a move on the ZACIAN, goodbye Yveltal, they have Meloetta in the back. So a very cool spice pick. Unfortunately, Groudon is here to shut it all down. We are going to be able to confidently tank this Psyshock, and we're able to get up to the Earthquake, and even though Meloetta is pretty tanky, it's not tanky enough to survive an Earthquake from Groudon, and that is going to be a good game. Alright, hopping to the next match. We have Dialga into Groudon. Here we are going to be checking the fast move. It is Mud Shot. That's not great for us. I am going to be bringing in my Dragon-Tail Groudon. Now they throw, and I have a tough shielding decision to make. I shield up, and it's the Fire Punch. So already a big mistake by me, and this is the Earthquake. So here I decide, you know what? I'll shield up, and we'll see what they have in the back. And they have Yveltal in the back. So here I'm thinking they switch late. If I can possibly burn the switch clock here, and then catch the Focus Blast onto my ZACIAN, then I should be in a pretty okay spot in this match. We go for another Fire Punch. As you can see, I try and swap. My switch clock isn't quite up. We tank the Focus Blast, but it cues my switch for some reason, and ZACIAN still comes in. So that is absolutely terrible for me. Now I have no shields for ZACIAN, but ZACIAN can help get those shields back from my opponent. We're going to be able to fire off these back-to-back close combats. So even without shields, ZACIAN still very much a threat. And my opponent, I believe, even despite the debuff, will have to Earthquake me to take me out. So we'll see them connect with the Earthquake here. And things are not looking great for us. We are going to have to come back in with the Dialga and try and catch, if at all possible here. And we catch onto the Groudon. And this should be the Earthquake. So we're able to put the Groudon to good use. Now we're just going to farm down. Come on, Dialga. And they have a Melmetal in the back. That is absolutely heartbreaking there. So a rough game full of misplays. Almost pulled it off, but a Melmetal in the back. That's going to be a loss for us. Amazing lead. They're going to save swap into their own Dialga, and I'm going to bring in my Dragon Tail Groudon. Unlike the Mudshot variant, unfortunately, Dragon Tail Groudon does not have nearly as good of a matchup, but if I use the Groudon here, then there's no chance of it being aligned with the Kyogre endgame. I am going to be going for the Fire Punch, and we're not able to get the shield, but we're able to farm down. That's very nice, as we'll be able to connect with this Earthquake on the Kyogre, and that's going to be doing a lot of damage. Earthquake connects, they're able to farm down, but we're able to get the Kyogre very low. We're going to bring in our Dialga, and they have a Togekiss in the back. So we are not out of the woods yet, but we're able to get a shield, which is perfect. And this is where Wild Charge is absolutely clutch on ZACIAN. We definitely do want to shield this up. We really got to hope. Okay, it is the flamethrower there. I accidentally go over energy cap. A definite misplay by me. You definitely don't want to be doing that. We are going to be going for the first Wild Charge. Going for the second one here. And watch this damage. This is non-stab. Goodbye, Togekiss. In comes Kyogre. Unfortunately, I probably should have overfarmed a bit more there, as Kyogre is able to reach a Surf. They're very close to the next one, but not quite able to get there, and we're able to clutch out the win. So even with some slightly rough gameplay by me, still able to get the job done. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Dialga into a Dragon Tail Groudon. This is a pretty okay matchup for Dialga. I believe we win everything but the 2-shield, and that honestly works for me. They're going to bring in a Melmetal, and I am really slow on my swap there. Definite mistake. Banking the Draco Meteor doesn't do a whole lot for me, whereas if you give Melmetal a big enough energy lead, then unfortunately it can make the Melmetal Groudon matchup a little scary, and they're going to be able to connect with a third superpower here, and from this health range, a Fire Punch should be enough to take them out. Again, I haven't played a lot of Groudon, so I went for the Earthquake. Looking back on it in hindsight, could have just Fire Punched. Fire Punch definitely would have KO'd there, and then I would have had some energy left over here, and maybe we could have gotten to that Earthquake. Unfortunately, we're stuck with just going for a Fire Punch on the Mewtwo, but they no-shield the Mewtwo. That is very advantageous for us. We'll be able to bring in the ZACIAN, and my thinking here is so long as we can get a shield down, we should be in a pretty okay position here. Ooh, that's tough. I know we do live this, but we are going to be shielding it up. We do want to protect the ZACIAN if at all possible, and we're going to be going for the Wild Charge. This will get the shield, and now we'll bring in the Dialga. And here, I guess having that stored energy does end up coming in handy. We're able to go for the Iron Head here. They throw, and they're going to bring in the Groudon. Unfortunately for them, we're able to reach the Iron Head. This doesn't quite KO, but should put it into farm down range, and they're only able to get one Dragon Tail off, and unfortunately, Mewtwo is not able to survive the Dragon Breaths, and we are able to get the win. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Dialga into Kyogre. Hey, this is a pretty nice lead for us, and they're staying in, which tells me that they could potentially be weak in the back to Dialga as well. So after I win the lead, it'll probably be pretty beneficial to save swap and check and see what they have in back. I'm going to overfarm here until right before they reach Surf number 2. Go for the Draco Meteor. We're able to take them out. They have a Dialga of their own. I'm going to save swap into my Dragon Tail Groudon, and they're staying in. They try and catch the Fire Punch onto the Giratina. They're unable to do so, and we are going to be able to land this Earthquake, and we're able to force the shield. So things are looking really nice for us. Dragon Tails are absolutely chunking this Giratina. They go for an Ominous Wind. That is not going to be doing enough damage there by any means. They're forced to throw again because of the Dragon Tail damage. Things are looking incredible for us here. We come in with the Dialga. We're able to farm down. And from here, this game is over. we're going to be able to get to the 2 close combats. I can't get to the Draco Meteor, so we just go for the Iron Head, but my opponent lost track of the energy. They do shield up the Iron Head. That's perfect for us, and now ZACIAN just has to get to 1 close combat, and that is going to be a good game. Alright, so as you can see, again, this team seems to be fairly good at providing ZACIAN with a shield advantage, and if you can give it a shield advantage in the end game, this thing absolutely destroys. Alright, hopping in the next match. Alright, we have an amazing lead. Dialga into Giratina Origin, and they're staying in, so they farm up some energy before they bring in their own Dialga. Now here, I should be able to force a shield with this Draco Meteor and get off some valuable Dragon Breath damage before I bring in the ZACIAN. Now why this is important is I will be able to get it into close combat range. Now here, probably didn't need to shield that Iron Head. I can survive the Iron Head, so a misplay by me, but hindsight's 20/20 there. And now the question is, do they bring in the Giratina? They bring in Togekiss. Again, people may not realize that you have Wild Charge. And here, I make another misplay. It happened quite a bit. Should have built to 2 Wild Charges there. Only built to the 1. I was just short. I thought I had the 2. And so I'm not able to get that second one off. But from here, again, people just not expecting that Wild Charge coming from ZACIAN. And they are getting really surprised today. They bring in the Giratina. They try and snipe the Dialga. We're able to catch onto our Groudon. It's the Ominous Wind. And from here, Dragon Tail is just absolutely unrelenting and is absolutely destroying this poor Giratina Origin. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. So all in all, I had a ton of fun running this team. Double Nuke ZACIAN with Close Combat and Wild Charge felt like so much fun to run. Now, the downside to that is if you get switch locked into something like a Giratina Origin, you then become walled, as your Wild Charge and Close Combat are, of course, going to be doing resisted and double resisted damage. But all in all, I really enjoyed it, and it can really surprise some people. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.